Hello everyone and welcome to today's edition of the Cheap Meal presented by Deep Fried Draft. My name is Brian Bosarge. As always, this will be our weekly preview video. And we're going to get to some news and stuff here in just a second. So let's jump right into the news. We got some college football stuff to talk about. UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen sat out last Friday's game with a concussion. It was originally reported he left the Washington game with a finger injury, and then that suddenly became a concussion. He didn't even make the trip to Salt Lake City. So I don't know what the reporting issue there was with his original injury, or if they were covering it up for some reason. I don't know, but missed with a concussion. Hopefully he'll be back this week for the Bruins. In the LSU game, Alabama senior linebacker Sean Dion Hamilton out for the year with a fractured kneecap. He was a mid-round prospect for the Tide, so this will probably knock him to undrafted range or late-round pick. Bama had about 3 or 4 other injuries in that game. Minka Fitzpatrick was banged up, but he ended up going back in the game and playing. Mac Wilson, another Alabama player, left the game, injured. He'll miss a few weeks. But Sean Dion Hamilton, the longest term injury for that game. South Carolina junior wide receiver Deebo Samuel was trying to rehab and get back for the Gamecocks this season, but he had a setback in his rehab. But he did announce that he'll be returning to South Carolina for his for the 2018 season, so everybody can take him off their draft boards now. Texas junior cornerback Holton Hill, a guy I talked about in last week's review and preview, both suspended for violation of team rules. He's suspended for the rest of the year. My guess is he'll now be onward to the NFL. Don't know what he was suspended for, so it's hard to say how much that will affect his draft status or draft stock if and when he does declare. Released last Thursday, my second year in a row I've done a column where I try to predict the Senior Bowl skill position players that will receive invites to the game. You can go back at deepfrieddraft.com and check that out. So far, I've seen about 6 or 7 names players that have accepted invites, only one of which was a skill player, but it is one I had on there, and that's New Mexico State wide receiver Jaleel Scott, a guy I'm very high on. But you can go back and check that column out. Let's talk about the NFL draft order right now when we're 9 weeks. So we're at the midway point of the NFL season for most teams, so we'll got a decent idea of how the draft order may be playing out. So let's go over the top 20 draft order. This will be the 20 teams who are not right now projected to make the playoffs. Starting with the first pick, the Cleveland Browns. Technically, the 49ers, based on record, would have the first pick because they've played more games. But that will rectify itself if Cleveland does not win. But anyway, San Francisco hasn't had a bye week yet. So, but the we're going to go with the Browns because they, both have the same winning percentage. But the Browns #1 pick right now. San Francisco 2. The Giants would currently pick 3rd. Tampa Bay, a team a lot of people thought would have much more success this season, currently slated to pick 4th. The Colts will pick 5th. Currently, the Bengals pick 6th. Cleveland again would pick 7th right now because of they had the Houston Texans first-round pick. So that pick would be 7th right now. The LA Chargers 8th, Bears 9, Broncos 10, Ravens 11, Oakland 12, Jets 13, Cardinals 14, Lions 15, Packers 16, Redskins 17, Atlanta 18. Miami 19, and the Seattle Seahawks currently picking 20th. All right, let's get into our preview. I got 14 games. 14 games I'm going to watch this week. 2 of them took place last night, so I'm not going to preview those. Akron at Miami, Ohio last night, and Bowling Green at Buffalo. A couple of action games there. But tonight at 7 p.m. on ESPNU is Eastern Michigan at Central Michigan. We'll get another look at Eastern Michigan quarterback, senior Brogan Roback. Last week, Joe Osman, the number 45 senior edge rusher for Central Michigan, didn't play. Hopefully he'll play tonight. 6'3", 248 edge guy there. One of the nation's leaders in sacks. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., CBS Sports Network, Ball State at Northern Illinois. Ball State has a nice edge rusher in the senior Anthony Wimbush, 6'1", 240-pound guy off the edge. For Northern Illinois, we're going to get a look at their very diminutive corner, 5'8", 170, number 19, senior Sean Lurie. Also tomorrow night, North Carolina at Pitt, 7 p.m. on ESPN. We'll get a chance to look at Florida transfer, number 54, senior center Cameron Dillard, 6'3", 308. And we also want to get a look at Pitt safety junior number 9, Jordan Whitehead, 5'10", 185. Heard a lot of good things about Jordan Whitehead. Friday night, Washington at Stanford, 9:30 on Fox Sports 1. For Washington, we get a look at junior tight end Drew Sample, number 88, 6'4", 260. And Washington's senior linebacker, number 36, Azim Victor, who's currently playing defensive end, but that's not where he's going to play in the NFL because he's 6'2", 228. For Stanford, let's get a look at their senior edge rusher, number 34, Peter Kalambayi, 6'2", 242, and their senior defensive lineman, number 66, Harrison Phillips, 6'3", 278. Let's move on to Saturday, 11 a.m. on CBS, Florida at South Carolina. For Florida, let's get a look at senior tight end, H-back number 30, DeAndre Goolsby, a 6'4", 245-pounder. And let's see if Sky Moore can keep up with him, the South Carolina senior linebacker. Florida will be starting again. Notre Dame transfer senior quarterback Malik Zaire in this one. 2 p.m. on Fox Sports Net, regionalized coverage is Wake Forest at Syracuse. For Wake Forest, we'll get another look at senior edge rusher Duke Ejiofor and another look at Syracuse junior quarterback Eric Dungy. 2:30 p.m. on CBS is Georgia at Auburn, one of 3 matchups this week to match top 10 teams. Upset alert here for Georgia. Georgia only a 2.5-point favorite per the Vegas odds makers. Here, road game. Coming off a pretty physical game against South Carolina. So we'll see. For Georgia, let's get a look at their senior defensive lineman, number 97, John Atkins, 6'4", 305. And senior wide receiver, number 6, Javon Wims, 6'4", 215. For Auburn, let's get a look at number 4, junior edge rusher Jeff Holland, 6'1", 250. And in a close game, you're going to need a good kicker. And Auburn has probably the top-rated kicker prospect in this draft, number 38, senior Daniel Carlson. 2:30 on ESPN is Florida State at Clemson. For Florida State, we're going to see how their edge rushers, number 9, junior Josh Sweat, 6'5", 236, and number 16, senior Jacob Pugh, 6'3", 239. And we're going to see if Clemson's junior offensive tackle, number 75, Mitch Hyatt, let's see how he holds up against the Florida pass rush. Hyatt is 6'5", 295. Upset alert, maybe. Number 2. As number 2, Alabama will travel to number 15 or 16, Mississippi State, 6 p.m. on ESPN. Alabama, like I said earlier, banged up, likely going to be missing a few defensive starters. Let's see if Mississippi State junior quarterback Nick Fitzgerald can take it. See if he can take advantage of that. 6 p.m. on 11 Sports. It's Montana State at Northern Arizona. This game is to solely check out Northern Arizona senior wide receiver Emmanuel Butler, number 8, 6'4", 220. Funny note about this game, this is the 3rd Montana State game I've watched this year just to look at other teams' players. Nobody on my list from Montana State. Haven't really seen anybody jump out to me. But I thought that was a funny note. 7 p.m. on Fox. Another battle of top 10 teams is TCU and Oklahoma. For TCU, number 25, junior wide receiver Cavante Turpin, only 5'8", 155, but that too can fly. For Oklahoma, we'll see senior corner number 7, Jordan Thomas, a 6', 191 player. Notre Dame at Miami. This is another top 10 matchup, 7 p.m. on ABC. The key to this game is going to be Miami's pass rush, which has been very good this season against Notre Dame's stout offensive line. That's going to be the key. That's going to do it for today's edition of the Cheat Meal. Follow us on Twitter at Deep Fried Draft. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Deep Fried Draft. Search YouTube for the Cheat Meal and Deep Fried Draft. Click subscribe so you get alerted to these videos. And download the Bumpers app in the App Store, and you can hear all the Cheapest Meal podcasts by subscribing there. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Until next time, later.